Hi, you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are still keeping safe, even in this time of the pandemic. I hope you guys are doing good. Anyway, today we'll talk about entanglement. Entanglement. Entanglement, in simple terms, actually means being caught up in a situation or situations that are really difficult to come out or even escape, if escape is even an option. So entanglement has been in the social media a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or something, where we had these two Hollywood stars married, and they had a few issues going on in their marriage. And when one of them was asked to give an explanation to what was going on, she said she was entangled. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell too much on that because it's none of my business. That's their separate relationship. So the reason why we're actually talking about entanglement today is I had a hashtag AP. Remember, hashtag AP is hashtag anonymous person, where someone can give their story, send a DM and talk about their experiences. And if we're going to talk about on LadyH, because we want people to learn from the experience, we keep it anonymous. The identity of the people have to be anonymous. So our hashtag AP today is a beautiful young married woman. And for the purposes of keeping the story in perspective, we will give her a pseudonym and we'll call her Melissa. So Melissa communicated to me and she shared her story. So Melissa is entangled. Melissa is entangled. So Melissa, fast forward, what happened was initially she went to a grocery store, bought stuff, and she was loading it in her trunk. So some gentleman approached her and asked direction to a certain place of the city. Melissa, being who she is, she gave this guy direction to the city. And according to Melissa, this was a very charming guy. Charming, again, is very relative. Melissa may find him charming, but you and I may not necessarily find him charming. But this is more Melissa's story. Melissa is the one telling the story here. So a week after, Melissa goes to the gym, to work out at the gym. Guess whom she runs into again? Mr. Charming Guy. So Mr. Charming Guy approaches Melissa and actually just thanks Melissa for the help during their first encounter at the grocery store. A couple weeks after, Melissa is at her place of work, going to get a sandwich for lunch. Guess whom she runs into again? Mr. Charming Guy again. So Mr. Charming Guy introduces himself again. Melissa introduces herself officially, tells the guy, I'm so and so and I'm married and this is where I work. And the guy disclosed that he's an IT guy who was on a contract, a short-term contract to fix some of the computer softwares in the offices close to where Melissa worked. Fast forward 8 months after, they've gone for a few coffees together. They've gone for a bowling game together because both of them like bowling. And they've gone on a date. Actually, a couple dates, if I can remember. So they've been on 2 dates and they are basically entangled. Unfortunately, the cat came out of the basket. Both partners of these two people, Melissa's husband and Mr. Charming's fiance, kind of have caught wind of what's going on, of this prohibited arrangement. So now things are not very good. Melissa doesn't want Mr. Charming Guy anymore, although she thinks she still has feelings. Mr. Charming Guy doesn't want to let Melissa go. But then it's complicated. It's complicated. And Melissa at the moment is working this issue with her husband in a marriage counselor. But then Mr. Charming Guy doesn't want to let go of Melissa. And both of them, Melissa and Mr. Charming Guy, it appears as though this entanglement is like a drug. Something you shouldn't be drinking or smoking or siphoning, but you still do it anyways, even though your body is withering away. Melissa is at the verge of losing a lot. Her marriage, her children, the financial investment in this relationship. She wants to let go, but she's entangled, basically. She is entangled. Very toxic situation to be caught in. So how do you know you're in an entanglement? If you're in something that looks like a relationship, that honestly you know and you feel you're not supposed to be in this relationship, it's usually one of the red flag in an entanglement. Both partners or one of the partners has immaturity, emotional immaturity. They can't deal with real issues in a relationship. They would shut down. There'll be a lot of anger outbursts. There's a lot of all that. There's deception. A lot of deception, a lot of secrets. One or both partners don't really tell 100% truth about themselves because they are scared of losing this other person. As opposed to a real relationship that fosters love, a lot of maturity. In an entanglement, there's lust, and most of the time the relationship is centered around sex. Yes, it's true, and it's very true. In a relationship, there's also sex involved, but then it's not really the primary goal of the relationship. There's friendship, there's companionship, and whatnot. There's maturity in a real relationship. If issues arise, there's proper communication. Sometimes, of course, that's what's supposed to be. But sometimes, and in a real relationship, there's supposed to be open communication, as I just previously mentioned, and also people are supposed to not shut down, like not have this anger outburst, just like what would be happening in an entanglement. So for Melissa's case, how can she deal with this? The answer lies in the hands of the Mr. Charming guy and Miss Melissa. They know, they have the power. They're the ones to decide what they really want. Do they want to lose everything? Do they want to still be caught in this? So you and I cannot tell them what to do. They know what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do the right thing because many people are getting hurt. So how does an entanglement start? It starts like a simple thing, something very innocent. It could just be like a simple question, someone asking you, how do I get to a certain place? For example, how do I get to a certain direction? If you know your weaknesses, if you know how far you can go, you should have some boundaries. Because if you know what your boundaries are, you can avoid an entanglement. You can avoid an entanglement because, trust me, an entanglement can be very expensive. Other than that, people, let's take care of our relationships. Let's try and stay away from entanglements, because even biblically, Joseph ran from Potiphar's wife when he realized he could get entangled. So if you see an entanglement coming or something that looks from it, run, and run really fast. Other than that, thank you so much. If you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed to my channel, you're welcome to do so if you like. Other than that, thank you so much. Take care. Let's stay away from entanglements. Bye-bye.